Okay, welcome back. In the last tutorial we were just setting up our IK handles here and getting the proper movement happening in our leg. What we're going to do now is actually make this a little more easy to control. So to do that, we're going to create some controllers. So we're going to go across here to our Curves tab and just create a circle. Middle here, and we're just going to put it at the origin, and default settings for this will be fine. So we'll just go Edit, Delete by Type, History. Now this is going to be our controller for the foot, so we want to make it look appealing and as much like a foot as possible so that people know what they're selecting. So we're going to hit F8 to go into our edit mode, and we're going to select each of these vertices around the side and just bring them in a bit. And then I'm just going to play around with the shape by using the transform buttons. Bring those in and might point the toe out a little bit. Might make the heel a little bit smaller and bring it in. And yeah, that's starting to look like a foot. That should be good for this tutorial at the moment. So there we have, it's my nice little foot control, so I'm going to call it that. I'm going to call it foot, CTRL. Okay, so first things first, it's in the wrong spot, so we're going to drag it across so that it's in line with our joints and drag it into the center. And as you notice, it's not the right size, so we're just going to hit R to go to our scale tool and just bring that out until it looks around about the right size. Okay, so that's great. It's all in the right spot. So what we're going to go and do is right click and go freeze all. And so that will just zero everything out so that it's nice and clean. Whenever the animator starts to animate, it will they'll always know that 0, 0, 0 is going to be the default position. And so that's in the right spot, but we need to create another control for the opposite side. So of course I haven't named this left, so I'll go ahead and call it left foot control. Okay, now I want this control to be exactly on the other side. And now without any plugins and whatnot, there's no direct way of doing that. So what we're going to do is, if we go Control G, we will create a group, which creates a group, and the origin goes to the center, which is what we need. And then if we go into the scale X and put in -1, it will flip it to the other side. But of course, I didn't duplicate the foot control first, so I'm just going to undo that. So if we go Control D to duplicate the foot, Control G to group it, now the pivot is in the center, change that to -1, which will flip it to the other side. And now this extra group is a bit unnecessary, so we're just going to hit Shift P, and that will get rid of the group above this. Well, the group is still there, so to be nice and neat, go to Window, then to our outliner, and there's our group that we created. This is just a list of everything that is in the scene at the moment, and at the moment we don't need that group 1, so we're just going to delete it. And you'll notice that this is still called left foot control 1, so we have to go and change that manually. We'll just go ahead and rename that right foot control. Okay, so we have our controllers set up. What we'll need them to do is to control each of these joints separately. Now there are a number of different ways that you can set them up. I'm going to show you what I use. And so first of all, we will need to make a direct parent from the foot control to the heel joint. So if we select the heel joint, shift select the foot control and hit P, do the same for the other side, hit P. And that means that now we have full control over this here. what we will need to do next is actually make it so that these controls actually can affect these toe joints here to control the rest of the leg, because we don't want to be going in and selecting all the joints one by one. And so if you can have as little controls as possible, keeps everything neat, keeps everything clean, and is just far easier to work with. So we're going to look at that next.